Don't tell me, Nate.
Where are you at right now?
They're at the round table.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen anything. I'm
No,
way
here
more
we go.
upset than you.
Here we go. Alabama won.
Yep.
Nate, please don't spoil it for me.
I'm not.
Come on, get on with it. Get on with it. Now I'm really nervous. Nate already knows. Clemson too. All right. Give me Notre Dame A&M.
I'm gonna have to vacate the screen. I'm gonna mute myself and vacate the screen so you can't hear me, okay?
Okay. Number 3.
Wait for it. Actually, I'm gonna wait so you can see this one.
Who's number 3? It's A&M, isn't it? Don't tell me it's Cincinnati. Okay, knew that.
I didn't know that. That leads me to believe that Notre Dame will be the 4 seed.
My heart's racing.
What are they gonna do?
You know, don't you?
No.
Are taking that long to pick 4?
Clemson, Ohio State. Boy, I'm excited for that. A little rematch action.
A little rematch from last year. Oh my God, they're waiting for 4?
Yep.
Hey, you could tell me the moment you know.
No, I won't tell you. No, I
Right.
want you to see it unfold.
Raw reaction. Do we have a remote anywhere, Paige? We gotta turn this down.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's any point in playing the playoff. Bama's a wagon.
No, I think Clemson's the best team in the country.
Really?
Yes. I said that in my show last night, which was pretty good. It was 14 minutes me talking about ranting about the playoff. Don't tell me.
I nothing yet.
Don't even give me a reaction, dude, please.
Okay, I'm muted and I'm off the screen.
All right. Come on, don't tell me, Nate. I'm not even looking at you. I'm just holding on for dear life. They're putting in A&M. I know it. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
They want Bama.
Let's go!
Mike wants Bama.
You know what, Nate? Bad look color-wise. Here we go. Let's start the show. All right. That was a live reaction right there of the college football playoff. My heart is beating, racing. We got Alabama versus Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. First, let's give an intro. Welcome back to FanNoise. This is a new edition. This is college football talk, college football playoff talk. Nate, take over for me here. I'm a little overwhelmed.
Take over for you. I know your heart's racing a little bit. Obviously, we just found out the first four. Alabama, Notre Dame playing in that 1-4 matchup. Clemson, Ohio State playing in the 2-3. I think the story here is that, Notre Dame hangs on after a tough showing yesterday. Ohio State kind of hangs on after not their best showing against Northwestern. Obviously, we just found out as well that number 5 team, that first team out, was Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't really taken some time to gather my thoughts. I think my personal opinion, I think both games have potential to be great games, but I think Alabama and Clemson are what yesterday showed me is that Alabama and Clemson are in a tier amongst themselves for the 2 best teams in the country, it feels like.
Absolutely. And before we dive into the slate here, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bar on YouTube, so you're the first ones to get the videos that are posted. Please follow us on all platforms around FanNoiseSports.com, where we write blogs, videos. Shop's coming soon. I'm going to keep saying that. It's going to be out probably a while from now, but shop's coming soon. Other than that, we're like, I'm already drained, and I got a huge Bears-Vikings game today. It's Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So let's dive right into it, Nate. Let's go 1-4, Alabama, Notre Dame. My thoughts in this game: Mac Jones is an absolute beast. Najee Harris is an absolute beast. Devontae Smith's an absolute beast. Nick Saban's an absolute beast. I don't want to see Clemson a third time. I don't think anybody wants to see that. But what Notre Dame showed me against Clemson was they're not ready for the big game. And honestly, Nate, they've never had really 2 playoff games in a row, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
it's
that's fair.
to see how they have a chance. It's not like they lost 30-3 in a bowl game like they did against Clemson in the national championship against Alabama in 2012. They lost, and now they have a chance to bounce back in a playoff, which could be different. It could be a different feeling.
Absolutely. I think that's the one thing that Notre Dame's never had is like a conference championship game to really it gives you time to wake up almost. Be like,
wow,
okay.
Oklahoma in front of Cincy. Sorry.
Oklahoma at 6. I saw that. Which I tell you what, I'd like to circle back to talking about that Notre Dame getting that 4 seed. If Oklahoma hops all the way up to 6, do you think Ohio State? I mean, not Ohio State. Iowa State would have gotten in if they would have come back and won yesterday.
No, I honestly don't.
I don't know.
But to the token though, we had a lot of people in the comments section of our big video, the Big 12 preview, saying Oklahoma's going to rout them. Iowa State showed some fight.
They did. I tell you what, one bad pass away. I thought for sure as they were moving the ball down the field, they were going to go down and score. I thought for sure they were going to go down and score.
Yeah.
But anyway,
how about their head coach? Yeah, sorry.
Going nuts, by the way, for, in my opinion, the right call.
Yeah.
But didn't snap the ball, no line movement. He's got time to get back. I don't know what we're going nuts about. Don't know what we're going nuts about at all. But back to the 1-4 matchup, I think Notre Dame has an opportunity. I think outside of Ohio State, because there's just more wild cards here, I think this is a best-case scenario for Notre Dame because the Bama defense still showed some signs of, other than the fact that they can virtually strip someone every single tackle, apparently, they kind of showed some weakness on the defense, the same kind of thing that we saw against Ole Miss, kind of giving up that 38-40 points last night. So I think Notre Dame has an opportunity to kind of get into more of a flow than they did last night on offense. And that defense, depending on the day, that defense can show up. That defense for Notre Dame can show up. It's going to have to show up because the Crimson Tide can move the football. They can move the football.
And Nate, like I said about the SEC preview, I told you Kyle Trask is going to put up points. I knew that game was going to be high scoring, and I knew it was going to be closer than the experts thought. But Alabama showed a weakness in their defense, and their defense is the weakness of their team. It's been like that since the beginning of the year. They predicted it to be the worst defense in the Nick Saban era. But I don't love this matchup. It's Alabama, Notre Dame. And people are going to – the spread might be 20 in this game.
It might.
But can they keep it close? I think they can. I think Brian Kelly might be fighting for his job, unfortunately, which is crazy. But he cannot get blown out in this game.
No. So here's my question. I'm going off on a tangent just thinking about that now. Why couldn't what was different yesterday for Notre Dame than the game they hosted Clemson in?
I mean, you were at home. You had a lot of fans there.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence out, 4 defenders are out. I think that was key. And Nate, they got a defensive touchdown,
Yeah,
which
they did.
completely changed the game. I
Yeah.
mean, the game's all about momentum, and Notre Dame had 0 of it yesterday. Trevor Lawrence, and you got to think about it like this: they were both playing for an ACC championship, but Clemson had a worse feeling of if we lose, we're done.
Yeah.
So they were fighting for their life. So was Notre Dame, but it's a different aspect of like, okay, if we lose, like Notre Dame knew if they lost, they would still probably have a chance, which obviously it showed they're in.
Yeah.
But Clemson didn't have that. They needed that game, and they needed to blow them out, and they did.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I think the difference was.
I tell you what, ESPN with absolutely no feel here. We're sitting here, talking, still have the reveal show, up on the TV screen, and in the bottom left it said Jimbo Fisher coming up live on Playoff Snub. Why on earth are we bringing Jimbo Fisher onto the screen to talk about Texas A&M getting the 5 spot?
Yeah, I want to hear Brian Kelly say this is what we're gonna do different, and this is why we should be in. That's what I want to say.
Why are we making him do that? Like that, it's not gonna go well.
No,
what's he supposed to say? I thought we should have gotten in, but now we're playing in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, let's stay on this game since this is our first key matchup. Najee Harris is unreal.
Oh,
I was talking to Nick about this. Like, imagine facing a running back in high school that's committed to Alabama. You know he's going to the NFL.
Yeah.
You're playing against an NFL running back.
I tell you what, I was impressed with his ability to get open in the passing game as well yesterday.
Four receiving touchdowns.
He can run the football, and it takes a gang to tackle him.
Yeah,
it takes 11 guys to tackle him, but then he's quick out in space. I mean, how about that touchdown when he kind of went out into the flat, little pump fake from Mac Jones last night, and he slides right back into the frame in the middle of the field. And then it was like you've got defenders that aren't even like trying to tackle him. They're just like kind of diving at his legs, hoping that he like gets knocked off balance. Like because he's just so strong.
I think we're dead on the Mac Jones train too. Like he's a facilitator, man. He can throw the ball deep when he needs to. But you have the weapons. You throw the 5-yard out, the 5-yard dig, the 5-yard slant, the 5-yard drag. They're running, man.
I mean, one of those touchdowns last night, just the simple Devontae Smith with the the 5-10-yard slant, and just his ability to get open and to get so open is wild. Hey, some spreads just came up. Speaking of our first key matchup, Caesar Sportsbook by William Hill. Alabama opens up as a 17.5-point favorite.
I figured.
In that game. We'll get to Clemson, Ohio State here in a little bit, but that line's a little tighter than I think you'd think it would be.
Yeah. I don't know. 17's a lot.
No, 17.5, but the Clemson, Ohio State line is closer. We'll get to it. It's closer than you'd think it would be.
Sticking on the Mac Jones, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith. People are going to be mad we're not talking about other guys, but these are the guys we need to talk about. That offensive line's amazing like they always are. As far as the defense, Notre Dame's going to need to expose that defense, and a lot of teams have done it. I think Notre Dame is better than Florida. So it just depends on how they're going to react after losing to Clemson.
Yeah. No, we'll have to see. I think you made a good point. I think Brian Kelly knows that a big loss to Alabama here would follow him and would continue to follow him. It'd be that telltale. They've continued to do it year in and year out. Have a good season, get to that big game, and get blown out. And for Brian Kelly, he doesn't need to win. Obviously, that helps. Obviously, it helps, but he does not need to win. But they need to play a competitive game. Yes, and they need to play they need to have a clear plan. I guess is what I would. Yeah, there needs to be some sort of game plan, a scheme.
Ian Book said every guy has a bad night. So I don't know how to take that, but you go 10-0 and lose one game, you got to give it to them every year. I mean, people are saying I wish college football was what it used to be, how there was a bunch of teams every year that were different, and then you'd see 2 different teams in the Natty every year. It's just not like that. But you can't say Notre Dame is a joke, a fraud, a bad program. You win 9 to 10 games every year, Nate.
That's a good program. That's
I
a good
mean,
program. I would not knock that. I'm not knocking that at all.
There's 3 great teams in this country, and it's been like that for the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe not 10.
Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State are the 3 elite programs in the country.
Yes.
That's just kind of what it is.
I wanted to say something else, but I forgot. Brian Kelly said that if they're in the Rose Bowl and it was played in Pasadena, he would not play the game because there would be no families allowed. He said that before the show even came out. They moved the Rose Bowl to Dallas.
Yes, I saw that.
Maybe they had that in mind, but maybe the Notre Dame was already in.
I think they were going to have to do that because, like, there's rules even, like, there's some spots where you're stopped at the border trying to get into California right now.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced they would actually ever let them play the game.
Yeah, anything else on this game, though?
No, this game
give me your prediction.
My early prediction for this one, Mike, is that I think Alabama does win. And I think they win comfortably, but I think it's a good game throughout. I think my gut's telling me that Brian Kelly's going to have a plan, and my gut's telling me that Nick Saban's going to have a better plan.
Yeah,
it's just kind of
It's crazy that Alabama's number 1. Like, they're consistently winning. They went undefeated, but this is one of the worst Alabama teams out of this era. Does that make sense? This is not a knock on Alabama. We're going to get it all in the comments. Mike doesn't know what he's talking about, whatever. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me they're not talked about as much as they usually are.
No, it's the defense. It's a defense. Yeah. It's a different Alabama team. You're used to seeing Alabama teams that run the ball between the tackles a ton. Like, you're not going to score any points. Like, this Alabama defense gives up points. They're looking more and more like a modern era college football team.
Yeah.
Going out of the shotgun, getting people in motion, playing at a little faster of a pace. So I think that's the difference, is that they're not playing the prototypical Alabama brand of football.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's not as good of a team because you're used to comparing them to the teams that have a Derrick Henry and they just run the ball off tackle all night and they run a play action pass and shoot it all the way down the field to an Amari, guys like that. Like, that's the Alabama we're used to seeing. So I think it feels different.
Mm-hmm. Very much. Yeah, that's kind of. I'm gonna pick Alabama to win the game. I'm not gonna do the fan pick as a fan. I want Notre Dame to win. I think Alabama's gonna win, but I hope they prove me wrong. If they didn't do what they did last week, I'd come on here and say Notre Dame's gonna win. I like this matchup, though. I like this matchup because I haven't seen Alabama all year, and they saw Clemson twice. That's why. And Mac Jones is not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
But I said it again. I think Clemson's number 1 team in the country. So, but all right.
And they would be. They would be if they wouldn't have lost that overtime game.
Yeah.
In South Bend, they'd be the 1 seed right now.
I should say with Trevor Lawrence, they are the best team in the country. That's what I think
that's fair. I think that's a fair statement.
Chance to make a play here. Lined up in the slot on 4th and 11. Bryant on 4th and 11 down.